seeing all of that and just seeing just there's other people in this world, there's other conditions. So it's like I can't just allow what I have stop me from doing what I want to do. And people always say that we only have one life, innit? So it's like we can't allow it to stop us from doing what we want to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Koh-versations with myself, Francis Koh. Yet again, we have another exciting show ahead. Today, I'm joined by the one and only Jordan, who's actually been here before. This time around, he's here to promote his new book and what he went through to do his book and give help and advice to others who go through what he goes through. And his aim is just to spread awareness and help as many people as he can in order to know how to deal with the issues that he goes through and how to overcome it and help each other to just move on to be better. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome to the show Mr. Jordan himself, the author, the singer, the breakdancer. I'm joking, just the author. How are you, Mr. Jordan?
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming on again.
Thank you, man.
Last time we met, we were talking about your first book. That was
it
was the first book,
yeah,
and it was when the kid had superpowers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you said it was more of you in a sense. You got superpowers. I mean, we all got superpowers. I believe every single person has superpowers. But it was more of you, how you deal with, overcome obstacles that come into your life. And since then, you've gone on to write 4 more books.
Yeah, correct.
And we're on book number 5.
Yes, book number 5.
I'm going to take this book and I'm going to allow you to hold it.
Okay, thank you.
And tell us about this book.
So this book is called Epilepsy is Me. So the reason why I decided to call it that is because, number one, I wanted to show and spread some awareness on the condition epilepsy. And I have it myself. So I wanted to spread some awareness on it. And I feel like there's not a lot of light shed on epilepsy. Yeah.
How old was you when you found out you had epilepsy?
I was 2 years old. 2 years old.
But obviously,
it's 2 years old, and I still dealing with it now.
What brings it on?
A lot of different things like flashing lights, stress, not eating properly. They're a little.
Yeah, I remember when you first came to the studio, was to the book read. And at the time I didn't know you had it. And then you told me after you sat down, I'm like, Jordan, I got all these lights on, why didn't you tell me? And it's like, no, it's only certain lights or certain brightness or flashing. Yeah. So I wasn't aware of that. And I think the problem that we have, not a lot of people are aware of what brings it on, the condition, and how to deal with it. So you had it at 2 years of age. Obviously, you're too young to remember that far back. What's your earliest memory you had when you had an episode?
From when I was younger, from what I could remember, is just the best way I could put it is like, I can tell you how I felt or how I feel when I'm having an episode. I think that's the best way I can put it. So like, how I feel when obviously having a seizure, it's like having an anxiety attack in a sense, but obviously I don't really know how that feels, but that's the best way I can interpret. So it's like something just, your heart's beating very fast and then you just like black out in a sense. And then you drop on the floor, you start to shake, and then but it goes very fast, and then you wake up.
How fast? We're talking about seconds, in
Yeah,
some cases
seconds.
minutes.
Like it could. Well, to me, it feels like seconds. So it feels like 30 seconds, and then you've woken up. But to someone else that's watching, it could last maybe a minute, 2 minutes. Depends on how long.
And once you come back to being conscious, what's your mental state? Do you recall everything that just happened? Do you lose a bit of memory? What does that feel like?
Yeah, it depends on how long you've been having the seizure for. So your mental state is a bit your mental state is a bit fuzzy sometimes after, and then you could be a bit, you can like lose a bit of memory. So it takes a bit of time for you to get back up to speed. So you might need a couple of days to just rest and just, get back to your normal self.
So as a young man, how does that affect your day-to-day life?
Well, if we're still going back to like when I was been in like primary school and like secondary school, I felt like it affected me like doing like work and stuff, because say for instance in school, if I was at home and I've had a episode, if you want to call it, or a seizure, then I've gone into school the next day and the teacher's like, okay, you need to do some work. But looking at me, I'm okay, but my memory's not okay. So I need to now get back to speed what everyone else is doing. And it's not like, okay, I can just read the textbook again and get back to the normal speed that, and say for instance you can do. So I need to now I don't know how to explain it. Like you just need to like go over everything and start again, kind of thing.
How do others take to you when they know that you suffer from it? Do you feel they judge you? Do you feel they feel sorry for you? Do you feel they want to help you a little bit more, or they still treat you like?
If I'm being honest with you, in the beginning, I didn't really tell anyone. Like I didn't really want to know. I felt scared. I felt like people would judge me. But so when I was young, I always used to feel like, hey, I don't really want to, apart from my immediate family and a small portion of my friends that would already know, because from being around me, people from the outside, I wouldn't really tell anyone. Because if you just look at me, you wouldn't think anything's wrong. So it's not like a disability where I can't walk or I can't talk or anything. It's more like mental. It's more, it's something to do with your brain. It's like electricity. I don't know the scientific word to really use, but it's more of your brain. It's to do with your brain.
Is it?
Yeah.
So lights can bring it on, stress can bring
Yeah.
it on, anxiety can bring it on, and that can happen at any point in your day. So, and that's what I want to touch on, because a lot of people, there's almost like a shame to it. Like a lot of people, like as you said, looking at you, I wouldn't think. And I probably interact with loads of people who suffer just like you. And I wouldn't think. But if I knew, not that I would treat them any different, it just, if they had an episode, I can be ahead to help them.
Yeah.
As opposed to being a shock, like what's going on?
What's going on? I'm feeling a bit.
Do you know what I mean? Like what's bad?
Yeah.
So how important is it to tell people? Because if you go back before you told people and after telling people, what has the change been?
I feel like the change has been positive, because from when I wasn't telling anyone, it's more I feel like I wasn't telling anyone because it was my own self-doubt. I was more scared. So, but now that I'm more telling people, more people know, friends know, it's more like, okay, that's good. I'm not allowing what I have stop me from chasing whatever dreams that I'm trying to chase, and allowing it to stop me from like doing what I want to do in my life. So it's just, yeah, so from what you said,
So if you was to have an episode now, a seizure,
yeah,
and it would take you a few minutes to recover, like to calm down, okay, this is where we are. And that could happen at any time.
yeah, anyway.
Does your body warn you or your mind warn you? Do you have signs? Do you get
Yeah.
a feeling that it's coming on?
Yeah, you get, me personally, I know when it's gonna come. Like I can sense it, in a sense. Like if you wanna call it like a spidey sense, if you wanna use that kind of word, but yeah, I can sense it. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I can sense it. It's like your body kind of, actually, this is the best way to describe it. When when you're on a roller coaster, and just before you're going down the roller coaster, you know that feeling that you get in your stomach.
I'm gonna go with that, but you see me?
But I don't go on roller coasters. I don't go on roller coasters, but
you are not catching me.
I don't go
too
on roller
scared.
coasters,
Yeah.
but
But I see what you mean.
times when I was younger, and obviously I don't go on them anymore, but that little gut feel,
Butterflies.
yeah, that little kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like that. It's basically that, but it's kind of building up.
And then boom.
Yeah, and then it's like,
So when is it painful? Do you feel anything?
because
you black out, so you just black
painful.
out.
Yeah.
So you don't feel nothing, no pain, no stress. And when you come back to consciousness, is your body aching? Because I'm assuming there's a lot, as you said, it's electricity just run through you, so there's a lot of energy.
Yeah, but then it's like, when you black out, you could obviously be anywhere, so anything can happen to your body. So you could obviously, say if you're already walking and then it's happened, you could fall. So it's like, you're not in control of your body, so you could fall on the pavement, you could fall anywhere. So it's not like you can control where you've fallen. So if you've fallen, say for instance if I'm walking and I've fallen on the pavement, I'm gonna feel the effects of that after. So those sort of things are,
It's the after effect.
it's the after effect. Or if you've fallen and if you've hit your head now, I'm not gonna be able to like prevent me hitting my head.
You feel it
during the kind of blackout stage, because I can't control that. It's more like, yeah, just trying to be with people.
What do you do? How do you safeguard yourself? Because you said it can happen at any moment. Yeah. How do you, because you said you're not going to let it stop your dream, which I think that's vital. You need to live. Yeah. How do you safeguard yourself? Because at the same time, you need to be safe. Your safety comes first. So you need to make sure you're good at all times. How does Jordan do it? How do you safeguard yourself on a day-to-day basis?
That's a good question. Well, for me, I just try and eat properly, as healthy as I can. Just eat good. Just make sure my stress levels is as calm and collective as possible. Yeah, and just making sure I put in place in my day-to-day life that is just a positive kind of mindset. And because it's part of me, I just have to just have to kind of face it. It's part of me. And just once I've kind of realized, okay, it's me, and just be one with it. It's just when you just kind of, you just know, because obviously when it happens, and then you just take the positives that you can out of it. Because I feel like that's what I wasn't doing before, and that's why I was so scared of it. I was scared to have a seizure. I was just scared. Every time it would come, I'd be like, I'd be very anxious, and I think to myself, why do I have seizures? Why, thinking, oh God, why did you give me this kind of thing? But then, like you were saying about superpowers, that could be kind of my superpower, but just in a way that I haven't understood yet. So all these things.
That's a great point. You haven't. Are you actively doing anything to try understand it and be even more one with it as you already are?
Yeah, I'm starting to now. Like, I am slowly.
For someone out there that's watching and they suffer from it, what are you currently doing? Because you've had it from when you were 2, so you've had a lot of time, and I from my understanding, it can come on at any time in your. Some people can get in their adulthood.
Yeah.
So it's not just something you get. So for those people who probably just learning they've got it, what kind of things do you put in place to try understand it better and become more one with it?
I feel like you just need to, for number one, is just understand that it's not something to make you afraid, especially like when it's gonna happen. Like, don't be afraid of it, because obviously there are instances where it may happen and then you might not wake up or something. Touch wood, that never happens to anyone, but there are instances where you might have a seizure and then like something may happen to you. But if you just look at the positives from, just take it in your stride and just look at the positives, then you can just, I don't even know how to just explain it, but you just have to just kind of just have a positive mindset about it.
So your day-to-day life, do you plan it out? How far in advance or how far into the day do you plan to make sure that you are safe at all times, you yourself?
I don't necessarily plan. I don't necessarily plan it out I'm just like, I just feel like I just go with, it's more go with the flow. The thing that I kind of plan out is obviously the eating, the trying to keep my stress level good, balanced, and as much as I can, obviously like the flashing lights and stuff like that, that's everywhere. So you gotta to try and stay away. It's not really like staying away from it, but there are things that you can do to kind of block it out in a way. So like, for instance, stuff that I do is like maybe like close my eyes, or if I'm wearing a hoodie, put my hood up, or sunglasses. There are techniques that I would use to kind of just block it out.
Mm-hmm. Does it, when you're in a moment of stress, how do you manage that? Because stress is something that we all go through. So for you, because higher level of stress could cause a seizure, how do you then maintain your stress level to be low?
Sometimes I meditate, or depending on the situation, I may speak it out. Depending if it's on if it's something that's on my mind and it needs to be spoken out, I'll just speak it out. Because with me, I tend to keep a lot of things in, so I don't really speak it out.
So do you think that makes
So
it better or that makes it worse?
I feel like that makes it worse, because obviously if you keep a lot of things in, you're not allowing, whether it's stress or emotion, you're not allowing it to come out. And an emotion and stuff like that is good if it's out.
No, that's true. I think, and a lot of people, we don't speak to people, we just hold it in.
Yeah, exactly.
And the more you hold it in,
the more it builds
one
up.
day it's gonna burst. And obviously for you, in comparison to someone like me, an outburst, I'll probably scream, you know, do something crazy. Whereas for you, you could have a seizure attack, and I think it's vital, as you said, speak to other people. And for you, one of the ways you speak to other people is through books, through writing books. Why books?
I've always kind of been creative in other ways, like tried to play football, but books was another way. I got inspiration from my mum. She wrote children books and other sort of books, but when I was young, I was always just writing when I was bored.
You're writing when you're bored?
Yeah,
Most people are playing computer games when they're bored.
Yes, I was always writing like stories and stuff. I always have like a notepad, so I was always just writing stories, and then I just kind of stuck with it. Really, just was writing stories, and it's just another way of like, it's a stress relief for me. It's just another way of, if I'm not even just if I'm bored, if I'm feeling kind of down, or if there's something going on in my life and at that particular moment, and I just feel a bit of creativity, then I can put it down on paper.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Talking about this book in particular, because you go into schools and deliver talks to young kids and help them out as best as you can. What is it like for you when you're in front of those young kids, talking to them about your book, this message? What's that feeling like? I'm giving back through my experience to help others to deal with the condition that I go through.
This book in particular I like this book in particular because
I hope you like this book.
Love
it's
this
your book.
No, but apart from like all the other ones, this one in particular because I'm going through it, so if it's more.
It's you.
Yeah, it feels. It's more like. What's the word? It's more
personal.
It's more personal. So it's like when I'm speaking to them and I'm reading a book read and stuff like that, I feel like they can connect to the story and the characters and a bit more, which is good.
Have you ever had a kid come up to you and say, I suffer from it as well?
Not as of yet, but you know.
But that's because maybe they're scared to speak up and they're still unsure if they should do. What message do you have for parents? How to deal with their kids?
If they have epilepsy?
Yeah.
For parents, I feel like don't be shy about it, because I feel like there's still some parents that may like shy away from their kid who has like a condition, but any condition as well. It doesn't have to just be epilepsy. So, and just allow them to still be free and chase whatever dream they want to chase, whether it's football. Because I still was playing football.
You still play football? You still play?
Sometimes.
What position you play?
Centre mid winger.
Are you any good?
I'm alright.
No, I like that you don't. So when you play football, do you have to tell your teammates and the people that you're playing with that you You have.
Yeah, I told her. I told the manager.
Okay. So that.
Yeah, I've told like even when I've been playing from like college teams and from when I was younger, I always like told like the coaches and the managers about like my medical stuff and stuff like that, so they know.
When was the last time you had an episode?
Well, being personal, but it was quite recent. It was last week.
Last.
Yeah. Do you want to know what happened?
Yeah. What was that like? Where was you? What happened?
I was coming back from my friends, and I was on the train actually. I can't remember what stop was. I was either at North Greenwich or Canary Wharf, but I was on the anyway. I was on the train, and then yeah. So I went in my bag. My first thought was, okay, let me grab my water and take a sip of water. So I done that, and then as soon as I put it in back into my bag, boom, it just blacked out kind of thing. And then
So
when
you
I
on the
woke up,
train?
yeah, I was
Train's moving.
I was sitting on the train. I was sitting down, and then as soon as I put the water back into my bag, that's when it happened. And then, but once I woke up, now, one of the like assistants, on the platform,
Yeah.
they were with me, and then they were telling me what happened. So they said, okay, we had to stop the train and tell everyone to get off. And then they said, okay, you've had a seizure, and are you okay? Can you hear me? So they were just reassuring me, making sure I'm okay and stuff. And I was coming back around. And then once that happened, they called the ambulance. And yeah, so they called the ambulance. They waited. The guy was really nice. He waited with me till the ambulance came. Then the ambulance came, and then they just wanted to make sure I was okay, and then they took me to the hospital, and then just do the little checkup. And
Little to you,
but
not to everyone else.
It's not little, but it's just like they just do like blood, take your blood to just make sure you're okay, and yeah.
Did it tell you how long
Oh, how
it
long
lasted? Yeah.
They said it was about 1-2 minutes. Maximum it was like 3 minutes. So I think it was maximum 3 minutes. So that's why they said it was best for the ambulance.
So I'm assuming someone noticed you had a seizure,
Yeah,
blacked out,
on the train.
then
yeah. I
informed
believe they informed either the driver, or they pressed the
emergency stop.
so the train could stop at the
Next stop.
The next stop, yeah.
Wow. Would you say every time you have a seizure, when you black out, to go to hospital? Or is there a point where you say, nah, I'm okay, I don't need to go to hospital?
I feel like it depends, because if you're at home, or if you're with a family member or something, then they could obviously look you over and make sure you're okay, that you don't need to go. Because every time that I've had a seizure, I haven't gone to hospital every single one of those times. So I would say it depends on how long it lasts.
It is.
Yeah.
Should everyone in a home be first aid trained?
To some extent, I believe so. Just or have I feel like you should just have at least the minimal requirements.
What's the minimum
Obviously, you need to put the person on their side
recovery
in
position?
the recovery position so they don't swallow their tongue. Then you got to time them so you can see how long
They were out for.
they're out for.
And that's important information
that's
to know how
yeah.
long they're out for.
Yeah, so obviously with the timing, you can now refer that to the ambulance, to the
Doctors.
hospital. Yeah.
If we compare your seizures now as an adult to when you was a kid, what's the difference?
What's the difference? I wouldn't really say there's much kind of difference in the sense of I wouldn't really say they change in a sense. I wouldn't really say.
So they're not longer, they're not shorter, you're not more scared, they're not more powerful.
In like the timings, I wouldn't really say it's really changed. Regarding like if I'm more scared or not, I would say obviously growing up now, it's only more recently that I'm starting to become a bit more used to them or accustomed to it and be like, okay, this is kind of my life, and let me just be more positive with it and not be scared of it. Because it wasn't from when I was like, because I'm 22. Maybe like 2 years ago, it was only then I was like, okay, let me start not being afraid of it now. So from like 2 up until then, that was.
And I guess, when you said when you're anxious, it brings on a seizure, I guess you letting people know takes away a lot of the anxiety because it's you're free now. You don't have to carry that burden to hide something that you shouldn't hide anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
How often do you have the seizures in a space of a year, on average?
Well, before obviously before the recent one that I just had, I was doing quite well. So it was good. It would have been coming up to about a year, and that would have been the longest time I have gone seizure free.
Wow.
So I was doing.
Do you notice if it's something that can ever go away, seizure?
I feel like it can go away because my mum used to have them, and now I've seen like firsthand that she doesn't have them no more. But she's changed the way that her lifestyle and the way she lives. So I'm confident and I believe in myself that I can slowly. That they will slowly come out of it, or whether I grow out of it, or I don't know how it will like go away. But I feel like the first step is for me to just like be one with it and just not be afraid of it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know you say you do everything, football. Sadly, Liverpool supporter. Is there anything that you're not allowed to do, like by doctor's recommendation?
Okay.
Due to
having epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to drive. I'm not allowed to drive. It's not recommended to drink, smoke.
Which you don't do none of that.
Yeah, I don't do none of that anyway. But yeah, the driving thing is kind of that one.
No, there's no negotiating.
Obviously, there's no negotiating.
Jordan,
I'll never do that anyway. But like,
I don't like that look in your face, you know. Jordan's like
that one.
That driving thing, you know. I could just.
No, it's not that one. It's more like it's kind of it makes me gutted sometimes, like because you know when all people like around you, they're driving.
Well,
or like you got people that say to you, "Oh, do you not drive?" Or when you driving, you know when
we can flip that though.
And it's like
we can work so hard, become to a great place financially, and have your own driver sitting in the back of the Maybach, being driven around.
Well, you know.
So but please don't ever jump in the car.
Yeah, no, I've never did that. Yeah, no.
Because I don't like the way you were saying that. Like, just to the end of the road. Just to the end of the road. Just
no. I would not. I'm not risking my life like that.
So no smoking. Never. Recommended no smoking.
Yeah.
Recommended no drinking. Yeah, no. But mandatory not allowed to drive. Is there anything else? So let me ask you this. Actually, no. You tell me. I'll keep this in mind.
From the top of my head, I feel like that's the major, like the main things. Yeah, and I think that's it.
Okay. So, as a young man, obviously you went through teenage. Clubbing is a very important part of our
I don't
upbringing.
go clubbing.
Oh, you don't go clubbing?
No.
If you were to, is that something? So, let's say someone out there enjoys clubbing, they go clubbing all the time, then later on they realize that it just comes on for the first time. If you were to go clubbing, is that something that you would have to research the club beforehand, or?
Yeah, I feel like I'll definitely do research on the club, and obviously because of clubs, they always have the strobe lights. So
not all the clubs.
Not all clubs, but I would have to make sure. I would have to see about the lights and stuff. That's my thing. Yeah.
Might be a silly question. When you're going abroad, is there a certain procedure, or you just let the airline know and that's it, it's fine, or do you have to have certain medication with you or a medical kit, or does the airline? Because if you have a seizure on the flight, obviously, like you said, let's say if you have a 3-minute seizure on the flight and need to get to the hospital on the other side, do the airlines take that into consideration? They don't want you on? How does that work?
Anytime that I've flown out anywhere, I haven't necessarily had to do any like medical form or anything. Like if I've needed to take like my medication with me, like in my bag, or they haven't said, okay, you need to fill out a form or anything. So regarding that, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
And that leads on nicely to my next question. Medication-wise, what medication do you have, or do you have any with you that you must carry around all the time?
I don't need to carry any medication with me, like on hand, but I take medication like for like the seizures and everything to like balance it. Okay. So yeah, but I've been taking medication since 2, up until now.
So you don't have it. You don't have to have it on you. It's not mandatory.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. Like I take it obviously like morning and night and stuff like that. But
I've known you better part coming up to 2 years, I think. And you deal with it very well, by the way. You don't let it affect you. You think you're funny, so you crack jokes whenever. You think you can play football. How do you stay balanced? Because obviously, mentally, you know what you're going through. How do you do it? Because some people might struggle to stay well-grounded and well-balanced and deal with it as normal as they best can. How do you do it?
I feel like the way I deal with it, It's good to answer this question because sometimes I ask myself this question, how do I do it? But I feel like I deal with it the way I do because I always think about like what I want to kind of achieve like in my life, especially like with the books and stuff, and just seeing like younger kids like smile and stuff like that. So it's like seeing all of that and just seeing just other people there's other people in this world, there's other conditions. So it's like I can't just allow what I have stop me from doing what I want to do. And people always say like, we only have one life in it, so it's like we can't allow it to stop us from doing what we want to do. And that's how I see it. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So, there's a kid out there, just had their first seizure, scared, unsure what to do next, who to see, who to contact. What advice would you have for them?
Well, first of all, I say go buy my book, Epilepsy is Me. It's on Amazon. Jordan Takpi. It's out now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do a plug-in. That's how you plug in your... Yeah. So once they buy the book, they're waiting for the book to be delivered the next day on Amazon Prime.
Come on.
What advice do you give them? How to overcome the anxiety, how not to be scared? What would you say to them?
I'll just say it's similar to what we've been kind of talking about, isn't it? So it's like just kind of believe in yourself and don't allow it to stop you from doing what you believe in and your dreams and your goals, and just keep on being determined and you'll overcome it. You know.
I think what's so impressive, Jordan, is the fact that you say stay determined, and you're staying determined. You're not letting it stop you, because you got a lot of people stop themselves without when they have nothing that can hold them back. Like when they're not disabled, where they have nothing, but they just due to laziness and procrastination and worry and stress, they hold them. But for you, you got all of that anyway, and you can have a seizure attack at any given moment, and you still push through. And not only that are you just pushing through in the manner that you are, you're also pushing through in helping other people as well. I think that is amazing. For me, that's inspiring. Like, really, we have no excuse.
No, yeah.
Only very few of us do. You know, if you can't get out of bed, or you can't do certain things yourself, you rely on others to help you. Then, you know, but most people, I mean, you're an inspiration to do what you're doing with what you go through or what you went through, and you know it can happen any moment. As you just said to us, you had it on a train last week, and yet this week you're here. Today you went on a train again, where most people would freeze and not go on a train and get stuck in the house and just go hiding, which you can understand to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But with you just said, nope, I'm going through life. So that's amazing. I thank you for that, and I appreciate you. So we're coming towards the end of the show now. As you know what, you've been here before, you've done it before. That is your camera right there. Close the show. How are you closing the show, Mr. John?
Thank you, Francis.
Last time we did this, you was like, we had to take 2 takes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Obviously, run up all the views we want. How many views do we want?
You know what? We're not even caring about the views.
We don't even care about the views.
We care about helping.
We care about helping.
Share this to someone
Share
who
it
you
to
think
your mom, your grandma, your granddad.
next door
auntie,
neighbor.
your neighbor, your dog, your cat, your cow, whoever. You know.
Cow.
People have cows. Don't they
What?
not?
They're watching YouTube.
Don't they have cows?
A
Horse?
cow that watch YouTube.
Everyone, animals, we love it all.
So you're saying I'm gonna have a cow sitting there and just me and cow
Yeah.
watching YouTube.
Yeah, we love all. We love all. Birds, you know. But yeah, Epilepsy is me out now on Amazon. Francis is gonna put a link below.
Yes, we'll do.
You know.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
It's alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. If a person can overcome all obstacles going through what they're going through, knowing that he can have a seizure at any given moment, which is out of his control. If he can achieve what he's achieved and giving back to others, helping them to the very best that he can, imagine what you can do if you put your mind, time, effort, and energy in whatever it is you want to achieve. Please go out there, become the very best version of yourself, and let's all help this world become a better place. Till next time, love, peace, and happiness. Mr. Jordan, we thank you, sir.
Yes,
We thank you once again.
Yes.
We look forward for book number 10.
Yeah, come on.